I, 26-year-old man, thank my wife, 25-year-old woman. She is or was seeing her cousin instead of me. This is going to be long, so please bear with me. This happened about 2 weeks ago, and I've gone from believing her completely to deeply questioning her. I met my wife when I was 19 years old, and we fell in love right away. 4 months ago, she had a child with someone else, but the father hasn't been involved with the child since I've known her. Since I was a kid, I've wanted to have a child, but I don't want to give my sickness to anyone else, so adoption seemed like the best choice for me. Anyway, our family has been the same since then. We got married last year. She was never really close to her family, but she was always nice to her cousins, and it was fun getting to know them. They look like nice people. You could also say that one of them, Max, tried to kiss her when they were 12 or 13 years old, but she quickly pulled away. When I asked if she told anyone, she said she just told everyone that we were stupid kids. We see him every Christmas, and he seems like a really nice person. While her family is full of jerks, I liked him because he was just like everyone else. They got back together not long ago and went to a few family events. Since we only have one car, he picked her up and drove her to these events while I used it for work. I didn't see anything strange about this. After all, they are related. It didn't look like her behavior changed much. But one night, while I was watching TV, she came in and told me that I had made friends with a woman from work. I agreed to become friends with someone. We're very open with each other, and things don't bother us very often. She might say something bad about a good-looking guy, and I have no problem telling her that this woman is from the new office. She didn't say she thought I was cheating on her, but I thought she might. That had never happened before. Because I've seen cheaters say things like, "My partner is just a projection." I bring this up. Anyway, these trips with the family were okay. Everyone in the family posts pictures on Facebook, and the wife posts pictures from the trips. I saw this happen twice, and both times my wife came home looking like a robot and acting normally, though a little quieter than usual. She does, however, get colds from time to time because she is depressed, and when I asked her if she was okay, she said it was because of that. That was 2 weeks ago. Today was my day off, so I did some chores around the house, took the kid to school, and came back to check my email. I saw on Facebook that her cousin had sent me a message. He and I had just talked about going to a minor league baseball game, so I thought he would say something like, "I didn't do anything," or "I had no idea how to tell you." I was just hoping he would quit. She and I were both abused as kids by family members, and it took years of therapy to get over it. Because of this, we have very good communication skills when it comes to setting boundaries and comfort levels, as well as how to say no to unwanted approaches. I loved her and wanted to believe her that he was just being a jerk, but she didn't tell me and acted normally, so I thought there was something else going on. You know what? I told her I believed her and asked if I could call him to tell him to stop and how disgusted I am that they are related. The message says, "I'd like to see you on your knees." I didn't understand until I saw that my wife was still logged in and that he was talking to her. I meant to kill him. The chat log was full of him spying on her and saying things over and over like, "But I'm married," and "No, I'm married." That looks like a very thin nose. It's like she's saying no because she has to, not because she wants to. It really shocks and disgusts me. But since they haven't said anything about it yet and she is politely turning him down, I can't say she's cheating. After she gets home and puts our child to bed, I talk to her about it, and she starts crying right away. Or if she'd rather tell him and take care of things herself. At first, she told him that she would let him know that she knew and that he shouldn't contact her, but she changed her mind because she was sure that everything would end. I was furious, but I didn't say anything. Instead, I told her I would tell him what I thought, even though I knew she wouldn't. "Please don't bother my wife, I will stop it. She is either being abused or cheating on me." I sent him a message, and he saw it but didn't answer. The wife thinks I should have let her handle the situation, but I told her I would not stay quiet in this kind of situation. She seemed to get it, and in the end, she said that I probably did the right thing by talking to him because she didn't know how. Even though things looked like they were back to normal, she was crying when I got home 3 days later. Her answer when I asked what was wrong was, "It's Max, and you should have left it to me." I sent him a message yesterday, but he hasn't replied. We talked about how I wouldn't stand by while someone abused my wife again, and she gave me a look. Not much, just for a second, but it made me think she didn't think it was rude. At the end of the argument, we both agreed that I dealt with it the way any man would. After 2 days, I'm in bed at 2 a.m. after finishing some work. I hear her laughing while she's on the phone with someone. This doesn't happen often. When she said it was her mother and had something to do with our child's birthday, I didn't believe her. But now I'm acting stupid so I can watch the situation from a safe place for her. The next day, she teared up again, and this time, I had enough. She hasn't been stable for 2 weeks. When I ask if this is about Max, she says she tried to get in touch with him to say sorry for not taking care of the problem herself, but he still won't talk to her. I'm sorry I lost my temper. That she was either being abused by him or she was cheating on me, and I had caught both of them. I'll be on the couch tonight, of course. I wish I could trust her, but I'm not naive. Right now, I'm lying here with my finger on the button, waiting for the truth, because if this is how it feels, I'm ready to go 95,000 mega nuclear on both of them. I'm sorry this is so long, but I don't know what else I can say. She has to be at work in 6 hours. Sorry for my outburst. I'd like to ask her to talk with me tonight. It's Sunday, and every other Sunday, our kid stays the night with my parents. I'm not proud of it, but I think spying is what's best for me. If I don't find anything, we'll talk about what happened to start with, what I can do to help her, and what we should do next. I love her so much, and the thought of someone who wants to like or crush her hurts my heart. But if I find out anything fishy, or find out that she was involved in any way, I will end the relationship right then. I don't think marriage counseling can help with cheating, and I would never look at her the same way again if I did. We'll give you an update. This morning, I cooked breakfast because I didn't get much sleep the night before. It was my fault for getting so angry, and I told her I was sorry. I also suggested that we talk about it tonight. She agreed, as if she wasn't upset in the first place, and admitted that she had really been acting badly. I told her that the fact that he was family made the abuse. She was going through a lot worse. It looked like she agreed with me. There were a lot of people on this site who told me I should spy, and I didn't want to be blamed for not doing what they said, so I did it. I read her letters. Because of how she behaved this morning, I had less reason to doubt her, but I thought, what the heck, and did just that. The level of disgust, hate, and anger I feel is too strong to put into words, and the marriage will end in divorce. When I opened one of her emails that was titled Yummy, I saw a picture of a family member who had sperm on his face. In the back and forth, he's telling her about his dates with other men. Among other things, they talk about the fun things they've done together in the past and put a picture over it that says, "I still have our old buddy." Then I read some disgusting trash between them, in which she is being very bossy and making fun of his penis size. It seems like a long time ago now that I look at the dates. From what I read, it looks like they used to hook up a lot but stopped after we got married. Before we got married, we were together for a long time. Later, she starts to say that she's not married, but it looks like that's just an excuse for him to touch her again, which he probably does. She treats me badly, even though I'm taking care of her kid. The last 6 years have been wasted because I've had to change my work routine and turn down better-paying jobs so I can keep an eye on him. I went outside and sat on the front porch. Then I called my brother and told him what was going on. I then asked him to take my gun from me for now. That being said, I'm not and have never been aggressive, but I feel like killing him or myself is the better option right now. I don't plan to, but I think I'm about to lose it, and I'm not sure I'll be able to think straight. After that, I'll get my things together and stay at a hotel. All of these talks have been printed, and I've sent myself copies. When I have time, I'll look for more dirt. 4 years ago, I bought a pack of cigarettes and quit smoking. Now, joy of joys, I have to make an appointment at an STD center because these dirty back and forths say that having unprotected with these guys is part of his act. Because my soon-to-be ex-wife has a device, I've never used protection with her in all these years. I think that getting tested for AIDS takes months, so I'll be biting my nails for a long time. I have a pretty good idea of when he works because I used to work for the same company as him. So maybe I'll just drive down to see his wife with the proof in hand before I check in and calm down. There isn't a cure, no hope, or anything else that could make this better, and I won't take an apology. I'm ending their marriage, and she won't get anything. Life is awful to me right now. Sad or unhappy, I'm not. I haven't cried either. The last few days have been like riding a roller coaster. I learned that my wife has been cheating on me for years with her cousin Max. That's the main point of my original piece. In fact, since this has been going on for so long, it could be seen as her cheating on him with me. Okay, I first saw a lawyer, and then I went straight to Max's house and talked to his wife. As you might expect, she was crushed and horrified by the sex. After a while of sitting there, I told her that he was bragging to my wife about meeting strange guys online without any protection and sending her pictures of himself with sperm on his face. She was hurt because she kept going to see them even though I told her not to. He was often seen talking to strange men. She told him that she would let him meet a guy once in a while if he thought it would help him get it out of his system. He hadn't done this in more than a year, she thought. I then stayed the night at the motel where I am now and talked to my mom, dad, brother, and sister. Unfortunately, I never picked up the phone when my mother called to beg me to come talk about it. She said I must have made a mistake. I didn't answer my wife's calls about a dozen times. She didn't text me, so I think she knows I've been recording and doesn't want to give me more to use against her. I would do that if I were her. I called her at the end of the day and told her I'd talk to her the next day. She was a crying mess when I finally got home. I told her that was enough when she wanted to hug me. She said that I had gotten the wrong idea about what happened and that Max's wife was making these claims because they hated each other. Right now, I know that my wife thinks I found out about their affair from someone else. She has no idea that I found it on my own. When I show her the papers I have, they include pictures of him with explicit on his face with the description Yummy, our old friend, as well as a picture of a huge explicit where she talks to him like she is some kind of dominatrix, telling him that he has a little explicit and other things that are meant to show her power. She sometimes told him to give these guys pictures of himself when they were done with him. That really makes my stomach turn. Plus, I do a lot of naughty things, so it's not like she has to deal with an angry husband who isn't open and went out because of that. Anyway, as soon as she finds out that I found this and told Max's wife about it, she goes from being sad and crying to being completely and utterly furious. She tells everyone everything and says things like, "You should have talked to me first. This is going to destroy me. You've had a feeling she'd do it." That's how I told him to stop texting me. That last comment made me almost laugh out loud. I told her I was done reading all of her texts and emails from the past year, and she never told him to stop. I slurred her name and told her that we were both surely infected with AIDS. She fell down and passed out. I couldn't do anything because I was crying so hard I couldn't stop. Still, I told her that we were getting a divorce. I called her dad right away and asked him to come over to my house because she shouldn't be there by herself in that situation. I saw that Max's wife had texted me when I got to my hotel room. She did a lot of study on her own and found comments on MySpace about things that happened to them in 2010. She told me early on in our relationship that he tried to kiss her when she was 13, but they were actually 16 or 15, which is around the time that a lot of people still used MySpace. To be honest, seeing that all those years ago is what finally broke me. For some reason, I lost it and started crying in front of his wife. She joined me. Following that, I took her to the lawyer I'm seeing, and one of his partners is now taking care of her divorce. Max has been scared and crying the whole time, trying to figure out where his wife is trying to talk to me. He still thinks this is all a big mistake, even though there is a lot of proof to the contrary. Max and his ex-wife live in a house that Max's parents own. Max's parents have told their son he can't stay there anymore and have apologized to their daughter-in-law, telling her she can stay with their grandchild in that house for as long as she wants. This is a way of effectively disowning him. Max's dad even told himself that Max hit my wife when she was a kid, which is why she acts the way she does now. Max is running away because his grandpa wants him dead. She is his favorite niece and, in a way, a second daughter. My dad told me he would pay for my housing for the week without being asked and because he wanted to help me. I told my boss exactly what happened today, with no holds barred, and that I would be taking 2 weeks off to get my life in order. He talked about how strange his divorce was and told me to take as much time as I needed while I was bottle fed. He also said he'd tell everyone on the floor that I had a sick parent or something, which was nice of him. I'll probably never see his grandson again as I lie down in my hotel room and miss him. He was my child for 6 years, and I changed his diapers, fed him from a bottle at 3 a.m., and missed work when he was sick. I took care of him non-stop after a terrible fall that broke his arm so his mother could sleep because she had to go to work in the morning. Even if the whole world burned down, I wouldn't blink or care. But the thought of never seeing him again hurts me more than anything else. I need to see a counselor. I need to talk a lot to get through this. There's no need to worry about me because I'm not thinking about committing suicide. Since I don't believe in God, this is my only life, and if I end it, that will be the end of an age. Later, I'll talk to my lawyer and I'll meet with Max's again because I clearly don't know everything. I have to go to the doctor tomorrow, and then I have to wait 6 months to hear the results. Thanks to everyone who helped. If my stepfather is not the result of incest, he and his real father look exactly the same, and he had to take a paternity test to prove that he was the father of the child.